All right, let's talk about the absolute essentials of German. Ever feel like you're just missing a few key pieces? Well, you're in the right place. We're going to do a super fast recap of the core building blocks you need to start speaking with some real confidence.
You know, it really all boils down to this one question, doesn't it? How do you actually put the words together so they make sense? Think of what we're doing here as getting your starter toolkit. We're going to hand you 4 essential tools for building solid, meaningful German sentences. Ready to open it up? So here's our game plan. First up, we're claiming our nouns. Then, we'll get into stating your reality. After that, we expand our vocabulary. And finally, we'll put it all together by taking action. 4 simple blocks. Let's dive right into the first one. Okay, our first building block is all about making things yours. To talk about your world, your family, your dog, you gotta know how to say my. In German, this is really the first step to making the language feel personal.
Now here's the first big rule you have to wrap your head around in German. There isn't just one word for my. Nope. The word you use actually has to match the noun you're talking about. It's this idea of agreement. And once you get this, so many other things in German will just click.
This chart breaks it down perfectly. Just look on the left. You use mein for masculine nouns, like Vater, and for neuter nouns, like Buch. Simple enough, right? Then on the right, Meine shows up for anything that's feminine, like Mutter, and for any noun that's plural, like Freunde. It all depends on the noun that comes after it.
So here it is, the simple version. If the noun is a der or a das word, you're going to use mein. If it's a die word or if it's plural, you use meine. That's it. Burn this into your brain, and you have officially mastered building block number 1.
Awesome. Let's move on to our second block. Now that you can claim stuff, how do you say things about yourself or about the world? You know, make a statement. For that, you need what is probably the most important verb in the entire German language. And that verb is sein, which literally just means to be. Think about how often you say, I am, you are, it is. You're constantly describing what is real. Well, in German, the little verb sein does all of that heavy lifting. You will use it all the time.
Okay, let's just look at the forms here. Sein is what we call an irregular verb, which means it doesn't follow a nice clean pattern. From ich bin to du bist to ist, honestly, these are forms you just have to memorize. But they're going to become second nature way faster than you think, because you literally can't speak German without them.
All right, so we've got possession, check. And we have existence, a way to state facts, check. Now we need some actual words to play with, some raw materials. So, block 3 is all about grabbing the vocabulary we need to talk about languages.
And here's our little starter pack. We've got die Sprache, which is language, and sprechen, the verb to speak. Now pay close attention to this one, ein bisschen. It means a little bit. That is a super useful phrase to know. Then we just add in the names of some languages, like Deutsch and English, and suddenly we are just one tiny step away from building a whole sentence.
And that brings us to our fourth and final block. We have the nouns, we have the state of being, we have the vocabulary. Now we need the action verb that ties it all together. It's time to actually do something with these pieces.
And that action is sprechen, to speak. Now, just like sein, this one's a little tricky. It's an irregular verb, but that's just a fancy way of saying there's a tiny vowel change you need to look out for. So keep an eye on that E in the middle because it's about to do something different.
And there it is. See it? In the forms for do and CS, the ones we've highlighted, that E in the middle of the verb changes to an I. So it's du sprichst and spricht. The other forms are totally normal, but catching this little vowel swap is the key to mastering a whole family of German verbs.
So let's put it all together. Ich spreche ein bisschen Deutsch. I speak a little German. Look at that. That is a perfect, useful, complete sentence. We just took our vocabulary and our action verb and clicked them together. This is what it's all about, taking these individual blocks and building something real.
And you know, the best news is that once you learn this pattern for Sprechen, you've actually unlocked other verbs too. The verb essen, to eat, does the exact same thing. Du isst. Same with geben, to give. Du gibst. So you see, it's not just about memorizing one verb, it's about spotting a pattern that opens up a whole category of words for you. So let's quickly recap what's in your new toolkit. You've got block 1, claiming nouns with mein and meine. Block 2, stating reality with the verb sein. Block 3 are key vocabulary words. And block 4, taking action with verbs like sprechen. You now have 4 really powerful, essential building blocks to start with.
So the only real question left is, what are you going to build with them? What are you going to say first? Whether it's something like, Mein Freund ist aus Berlin, or Ich spreche ein bisschen Spanisch, you now have the tools. The next step? Well, that's up to you. Go out and start building.